I failed this year. I'm really disappointed. Alright friends, so we're down by our chicken coop, our chicken brooder that we have over here, and it is time to move this mama and her babies to the bigger area where they can get out and run around in the grass, eat some bugs, and learn how to be some chickens. So we're gonna go ahead and let her out and help her get over to that side where she can now stay with her babies in the grass. Well, mama came out, but the babies were too scared, so we're just gonna let her get used to that door being open. We're gonna leave it open. My husband's gonna watch them. We're gonna head to the garden so that I can give you a little tour of what is going on in my garden. Well, as soon as I moved that camera, they all came running out, so I'm sure it was probably the camera they were scared of, or just me coming over and showing them that scared them, and so she finally got them to jump out that side. And I don't know if you noticed that little bitty one that we have, that is a Bantam chicken. So we put one of the Bantam eggs underneath the broody mama, and she hatched that one out. So the other three are regular chickens. They're gonna be big, but that little one is gonna be a small chicken. It's a Bantam. And our fourth one just decided to jump out now. So now all four of them are on the floor with mama, and we'll let them eat out here for a little bit, and then my husband will coax them to the other side. That way they can come out, run around, and not be attacked by predators. All right friends, so we are now down in the garden, and we are gonna walk through and talk about what has changed in the garden and my fails. I definitely feel like I failed this year with the garden. This is my first full year here in this garden space, so I knew it was going to be a learning experience. I had high hopes that it was going to be this magnificent, beautiful garden and it was going to be perfect, but I quickly learned that that does not happen, and it's a lot of maintenance that comes into these gardens, and especially if you don't have any weed protection, or you're doing an organic and not using any weed killers and stuff like that, then you're going to be dealing with weeds 24/7. So I have a lot that I need to process, look at my notes, and then make it better for next year. And then next year I'll learn some more about that one and I'll make it better for the next year. So this is all a learning process. I'm really disappointed in a lot of things, but at the same time I got an amazing harvest that I was able to can up and put into my pantry, so I'm excited about that. So let's go ahead, walk through the garden, and I'll share with you all of my successes and all of my fails and what is next for the garden. All right friends, so starting with this side of the garden, this is where all my potatoes were, and I would consider this a huge success. We got tons of potatoes. I did not weigh them, but we got a nice harvest of potatoes from our bed that we did here for our potatoes. So that was a huge success. So this is what I've got to figure out for next year, of how I'm going to make this whole bed for my potatoes without having all of these lovely weeds. All right, so next on our agenda here is our tomatoes. So all these ones that you see up front here, these first rows, these are all my cherry tomatoes, my Sweet 100 cherry tomatoes that I planted. And as you can see, the storms and the heaviness, these got over 6 feet tall, and it just knocked them all down. They are all on the floor. Next year's plan for this. All right friends, so here are some more of my tomatoes, and they just are doing horrible. They are all dying There is no saving these tomatoes. All of them have just, their leaves are turning brown and just dying. Very few, like the ends of these ones are still doing okay, but the rest of them are dying. And I don't see any flowers or any fruiting on these tomatoes anymore. So I am pretty sure that all of my tomatoes will be being taken out because they're just not doing well. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest everything that I have on here, all these tomatoes that are still on here that are doing good. I'm gonna go ahead and harvest them and can them, do what I'm supposed to do for harvesting, for preserving them, and then I will be going through and taking them all out and just cleaning up these beds and prepping them for my fall garden because these are all dead. Unfortunately, my tomatoes did not do well. I mean, I got a lot of harvest off of them. So yeah, this was very disappointing. These tomatoes, I had a lot of high hopes for my tomatoes, but again, I was not on top of the weeds as I should have been. I was not maintaining them the way they should have been. The weeds got crazy, and then it was just almost impossible to come in here and take care of the weeds. I also think that my soil did not have enough nutrients in it. I think that also played a factor in it. We do only organic gardening, so I do not add any pesticides or anything like that to my plants. So a lot of disease came in. There was a lot of blight. There's just a lot of things that happened to my tomatoes. So next year, again, I have to go back and I really need to do a lot of research on what I'm gonna do. I really think I'm gonna go ahead and get the weed barrier to put down and only plant in the weed barrier for the plants. This way I can actually maintain them better, and in between the rows I can mow it with the lawnmower. I won't have to come in and pull it by hand because it's intermixed with my plants. So my tomatoes, I'm really sad. They are done. I'm just gonna go through and harvest what I got and put up in my pantry what I'm able to put up, and next year will be better. I will do better next year. And again, this is only my first year really growing all summer long. I got to see everything that I need to pay attention to and how much I need to be in the garden. Amidst all of the rain and the heat that we get, I just have to put more of an effort into maintaining the weeds and keeping the plants healthy and happy. So that was my one fail so far in the garden. Let's continue on and look at everything else that is growing here in the garden. All right, friends, so here are my squash plants that are in here. I've got my yellow crooked neck squash in here. I've got, this one is supposed to be a zucchini, but I do not see any zucchini, nor do I see any flowers. So I will be watching, oh, there's one. These are still doing good. I had a few that did die, so I pulled those out, but these are all of my squash plants and they are doing fairly well. You can see over there in the middle that everything is kind of dying over in that area. That's where my pumpkins were that I went ahead and harvested to make pumpkin pie. There's no more pumpkins. I don't see any more flowers or fruits, so that one can go ahead and continue to die off, and I will then pull it and clean it up and get it ready for something for fall. These little pumpkins or some kind of squashes that are still in here. All right, friends, so this is the next thing on in my garden that we're going to talk about, and these are my cucumbers. So these trellises that I made are not strong enough to hold up the weight of the cucumbers. That is what we'll be fixing for next year, is we'll be making a better trellis for the cucumbers to climb on, because this was not strong enough. This was too flimsy and it just knocked everything down. I still have lots of cucumbers growing in here, which I am harvesting, but you can see the yellowing on the plants. They are dying back. Quite a few have already died back. So I will be harvesting again everything on here that is good. I will be ripping these out, cleaning up this area, and prepping it to put my fall cucumbers, which I have started in the pump house. Those will come in here during the fall to have a second harvest of cucumbers. So this one is about done. I will be ripping it out soon, cleaning it up, getting this bed ready, prepping it, putting some more soil down and fertilizing it, and getting it ready for the next round of cucumbers. All right, friends, so we are now in my pepper bed and I am very happy with my peppers. They have all done fabulous. They are beautiful. They are healthy. All of these pepper plants are doing great. And I have my bell peppers, hot peppers, banana peppers, cayenne peppers, habanero peppers, all the peppers that you can think of I have, and they are doing so well. No issues with all of my beautiful pepper plants. I do need to come in here and stake up some of these pepper plants because they are leaning, so I will be putting some stakes around the ones that are falling over. I have done quite a few already, but the ones that are now falling over will be getting staked up. Here I have my Brussels sprouts, and they are starting to produce little Brussels sprouts. All of them are doing really well. You can see them all down here. I have got 5 plants, and they are all producing Brussels sprouts. All 5 plants are doing good. My 5 cabbages that I have are ready to be harvested, so I will be doing that today and going ahead and making some more sauerkraut with these last 5 heads of cabbage. Here is my okra, and they have grown. They are massive now. They're about half the size of me, and they are producing lots of okra for me. Look at how beautiful these okra flowers are. They are stunning. Where are you going? I've got a crazy driver here, guys. So these okras are doing phenomenal. All of them are doing really, really well. I went through yesterday and I picked all the okras that were big. So there are a few that I can pick again. With okra, you have to come out every day and pick them. You let them go for a couple days and they will grow crazy on you. So okras, you definitely have to make sure you are on top of them, but they're doing really, really good. Here are my green beans. I've got the 4 rows of green beans, and this first row over here has a lot of yellowing. So they are definitely deficient in something in this part of the soil. So I'm going to be looking that up and seeing what I need to put on here, but we have green beans. Lots and lots of green beans. I'll be coming through and doing a harvest of green beans and start preserving all of these. Hey, my babies. Hi, my babies. What, mamas? What? Here we have a whole bed of pumpkins, watermelons, squashes, cantaloupe. Everything is in this big bed, and there are lots of them. So I'm excited for this. This is just one big huge patch of winter squash and sweet watermelons. All right, friends, my other fill is this. This was supposed to be my flower bed. This is where I sowed a whole bunch of flowers, all in that over there, all right in here. And the grass and the weeds took over. My flowers were too small, so I didn't know which was flowers, which was weeds. So I left them to just kind of get a little bit bigger. And now there are no flowers. I'd seen that some zinnias had popped up in here, and that's another reason why I wanted just to leave it alone, because I didn't want to ruin any of my zinnias. But these weeds are just too much. There's a zinnia right here, some right here. So there's some zinnias in here, but all of this is grass and weeds. It's done for. I just need to come through and mow it because there's no salvaging this. But I do have some beautiful zinnias over here that I absolutely love. Look at all these stunning zinnias. Some really pretty orange ones, different colored pinks, and then look at this one. This one is like, you've got pink in the yellow, pink, and then orange. Absolutely stunning. I love zinnias. And all of these beautiful butterflies, absolutely love them too. Look at this bumblebee. And then I have my beautiful sunflowers that are doing awesome. All right, friends, so that is the current state of my garden, and that is how it looks. There is a lot of successes and a lot of fails. So a lot of learning that I made for this year that I need to put into works for next year. Just a lot of maintenance and a lot of figuring this out. But this is only my first year, so you don't get to be an expert by doing it one time. It takes years of experience, and yeah, this is just the beginning. So I'm excited for what did happen, what I did learn, and all the produce that I did grow that I get to now process and put into my pantry for the winter time. And I am super excited for next year and how much more it's going to be and how much better it's going to look when I put into play those other things that I learned about what it's like growing here in this area with the weeds, the rain, the heat. So I'm looking forward to next year. But I'm also looking forward to my fall garden, and that is what I'm planning on doing right now. So a lot of this is going to be coming out. Like I said, the tomatoes are coming out, and I'll be prepping this area for my fall garden and what I'm going to be planting. So I'll bring you guys along when I decide of what I'm putting in here, and when I get ready to do that, I will bring you along and show you what's going on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends and family. As always, I hope all is well, and have a blessed day.